Usually when you picture a tug of war, the whole point is to just never let go.
Right. Yeah, you're just digging your heels in.
Exactly. Your hands are burning, but you hold on for dear life because dropping the rope means you lose. But sometimes letting go is actually the only way forward. And that's exactly what we are getting into in today's deep dive.
Yeah, it's this really profound tension between knowing when to relentlessly fight for something and, well, when to just finally release it.
Right. And to explore this, we're looking at a really fascinating sermon by Pastor Sung No. This is from Praise Presbyterian Church. And he completely flips our understanding of surrender using this ancient story of King David from 2 Samuel.
Yeah, and the setup for this is, it's incredibly heavy. So King David has committed adultery with Bathsheba.
Right, and then to cover it up, he actually has her husband, Uriah, killed in battle.
Exactly, it's really dark. And when the prophet Nathan confronts him, he delivers this definitive judgment. He tells him David is forgiven, but the child born from this affair will die.
Which is just a brutal consequence. And David's reaction to that prophecy is where things get really complicated.
Oh, for sure, because instead of just accepting the sentence, he spends 7 days fasting. He's literally lying face down on the bare floor, just desperately begging for the child's life.
Which, I have to push back on that a bit. It feels almost like appealing a Supreme Court sentence after the gavel is already dropped. Like, if God already declared the outcome through a prophet, isn't David just being stubbornly defiant here? Why fight a battle that's officially over?
Well, it's because he's clinging to this really slim margin of hope. Pastor Sung No calls this the perhaps prayer, because David explicitly says, perhaps God will pity me.
Okay, so he's not just ignoring what God said.
No, not at all. He understands God's ultimate authority, but he's making this distinction between what theologians call sovereign will and permissive will.
Right. So sovereign will being those absolute unchangeable things, right? Like the laws of physics or, the return of Christ.
Exactly. Well, permissive will covers outcomes that might actually bend based on human interaction. The tricky part is we rarely get a clear label telling us which one we're facing in the moment.
Yeah, that terrifying ambiguity.
Right. And that ambiguity is exactly why David is on the floor. When you don't know if a door is deadbolted or if it's just stuck, you keep pushing.
That makes so much sense. You bring your raw desperation into the dark. It's a real relationship, not just politely accepting defeat.
Exactly. You pray through the pain, even with all your doubts, until you are absolutely certain that the window is closed.
But then we hit day 7, right? And the child dies.
Yeah. And David's servants are terrified to even tell him. They assumed if he was this huge wreck while the child was alive, the actual death might push him to, harm himself.
But he does the unthinkable instead. He gets up, washes himself, changes his clothes, goes to worship, and then just sits down for a meal.
Right. It's a complete 180.
It really is. And I have to ask, how does someone just flip a switch like that? Going from desperate pleading to eating dinner feels like emotional whiplash. Is he just suppressing his grief here?
No, it's not suppression at all. It's actually the but now moment of acceptance. It's like pouring all your energy into trying to revive a dead battery and finally realizing you just need a whole new engine. You stop cranking the key.
Wow, okay. So he realizes he's fundamentally no longer in control.
Exactly. David literally says, I will go to him, but he will not return to me. He accepts that the perhaps window has completely closed.
Right.
And the struggle we often have with this transition really comes down to who we think is actually in charge. The sermon has this great analogy about a dog and a cat.
Oh, I love this part. Tell him about the dog and the cat.
So a dog looks at a human providing food and shelter and thinks, you feed me, you must be the master.
Right.
But a cat looks at the exact same setup and thinks, well, you feed me, I must be the master.
Yes, a classic cat mindset. And the point is, when we demand that God answer every desperate plea exactly the way we dictated, we're basically acting like the cat, bro.
Exactly. We assume we hold the sovereign authority.
But we don't.
We don't. And Pastor Sung No points to the ultimate biblical model for this shift, which is Jesus at Gethsemane.
Right, asking for the cup of suffering to pass.
Yes, which is the ultimate perhaps prayer. But then accepting the cross is the ultimate but now moment. An unanswered prayer doesn't mean you've been abandoned.
That is such a powerful reframing. And it brings it right back to you listening to this deep dive right now. We all hit these walls where you have to figure out, are you still in that perhaps season where you need to hold on and fight?
Right. Or have you crossed over into the but now season where the healthiest path is actually acceptance?
Exactly. And recognizing that boundary takes profound self-awareness. It means trusting that letting go has its own purpose. So consider this as you face whatever tug of war you're currently in today.
Yeah, if prayer isn't just a negotiation tactic to change your circumstances, but a tool that ends up changing you, that changes everything.
It really does.
Yeah.
How might that completely alter the very next thing you ask for today? Maybe dropping the rope isn't losing. Maybe it's just freeing your hands for whatever comes next.